Boys and girls, today we're going to do some story problems, some picture problems using apples. Let's take a look at the first story I have for us today. I picked 3 apples from the tree. My brother picked 2 apples. How many apples did we pick? So let's start with the very first part of our sentence. I picked 3 apples from the tree. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3. Here are the 3 apples that I picked from the tree. The next sentence says my brother picked 2 apples. So I'm going to put my brother's 2 apples on this side of the tree. How many apples did we pick? So I picked 3 and my brother picked 2. Let's count and see how many we picked together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my brother and I picked 5 apples. 3 apples and 2 apples make 5 apples. We picked 5 apples from the tree. All right, let's take this sentence down and let's just listen to another sentence. Let me put our apples back on the tree. I'm going to share another sentence with you. Ready? My brother picked 4 apples. 1, 2, 3, 4. I picked 3 apples. 1, 2, 3. How many apples did we pick? So let's count and see how many apples did we pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We picked 7 apples. 4 apples and 3 apples make 7 apples. Good job. So let's think about another story we can do with our apples today. Let me go ahead and move these down to the bottom for us. And let's get ready for another story. Are you ready? All right, let's take a look at this story together. Tom has 6 red apples and 4 green apples. How many apples does Tom have? So let's start with the first sentence in our story. Tom has 6 red apples. So count with me as we show Tom's 6 red apples. Are you ready? All right. So as I put them up, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 6 red apples. The second part of that sentence says, and 4 green apples. So now let's count 4 green apples. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many apples does Tom have? So let's count all of our apples together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tom has 10 apples. 6 red apples and 4 green apples make 10 apples in all. Good job, boys and girls. So let's take our apples, put them back down at the bottom so we can get ready for another story problem about apples. All right, we ready? Let's listen to our next story. There were 7 apples on the tree. The wind blew 2 apples to the ground. How many apples are still on the tree? So let's get our tree back in our picture again. Here is our tree. So let's listen to the first part of our story again. There were 7 apples on the tree. Can you count with me as we put 7 apples on the tree? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The wind blew 2 apples to the ground. So we're going to have to take 2 of our apples off the tree because they have fallen to the ground. Count with me. 1, 2. How many apples are still on the tree? Can you count with me? How many apples are still on our tree? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 apples still on the tree. We had 7 apples, 2 were taken away, leaves 5 apples. 7 take away 2 is 5. 5 apples left on our tree. Good job. All right, let's take a look at another story together. Let's take our apples off and put them back at the bottom. So we're going to have them ready for our next story. All right, you ready? So our next story says, Ted has 8 apples. He gives his mom 4 apples. How many apples does Ted have now? So let's start with Ted, and we'll start with Mom. So here we have Ted. So let's go back and listen to the beginning of our story. Ted has 8 apples. So let's give Ted his 8 apples. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ted has 8 apples. He gives his mom 4 apples. So let's give Mom 4 apples. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many apples does Ted have now? Count with me and let's see how many apples Ted has left. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 apples take away 4 apples equals 4. 8 minus 4 equals 4. Ted has 4 apples left. Good job, boys and girls. All right, I've got one more story for us. Are you ready? Let's take these apples away and let's listen to the next story I want to share with you. So we're going to take Ted and Mom away. Let's look at our story together. I made a pie with 5 apples. Pam made a pie with 3 apples. How many apples did we use to make our pies? All right, so here's going to be my pie, and this is going to be Pam's pie. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. I made a pie with 5 apples. Can you count with me? Let's put 5 apples in the first pie. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pam made a pie with 3 apples. 1, 2, 3. How many apples did we use to make our pies? All right, you ready? Let's count how many apples we used all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 apples and 3 apples make 8 apples. 5 plus 3 equals 8. We used 8 apples in our pies. Now, boys and girls, you're going to click on Story Problems